People often say to us, how do you get into insects? And it's difficult to say. I've always been interested in wildlife. It was birds at first. They were my first interest, from as long ago as I can remember. And then over the years, the interest changed. I became interested in butterflies and moths. And then, over even more years, my interest broadened further to pretty much cover every invertebrate order in the UK. But where the interest came from or stemmed from, I've no idea. Certainly neither my parents or grandparents had any obvious interest, or any interest really, that I could discern in wildlife, in birds or insects in particular. My grandparents didn't. They had no interest. Maybe it stemmed from Uncle Wolf, who used to be a farmer years ago, and he could relate tales of how the countryside used to be. And he had a way of telling it as well and describing it that put you there, back to those times. But otherwise, I don't know. But I'm glad I got into invertebrates. But whatever way you do get into invertebrates, doesn't matter. And if you've got children or young children, don't discourage them from having an interest in invertebrates or wildlife, even if you haven't, because that's just wrong and selfish. Anyone can be interested in invertebrates and wildlife to whatever degree they want. But any interest should always be encouraged. And that's possibly why an interest in invertebrates is still very much a minor interest. Very few people do have it. Might stem from when spiders run across the living room carpet. And what's the initial reaction of most parents? Kill it. And that makes them frightened, makes children frightened. Children aren't born with phobias, they develop phobias or are given phobias off the parents. Children are fearless otherwise. So always encourage children or any young person. I don't think you'd have to be young. You can develop an interest in them in middle age or when you retire. Doesn't matter. To have an interest is something fantastic, and if it becomes a passion, that's even better. You can end up at sites like this, just wandering around, seeing what there is. But you need to put in the effort. Getting out in the field is one of the best ways to learn things, and then find it out for yourself and identifying things for yourself when you get back home. Technology and the internet makes things a lot easier now than 30, 40 years ago. Vastly different. How times have changed. But from the evidence that I see and the numerous requests for identifications that I get, people don't have the interest in trying to find something out for themselves. Quicker to ask. But if you ask, the information is not retained, or certainly not retained so easily. And the signs of invertebrates are everywhere. These, for example, these contain an egg, and ultimately larvae of the weevil Depraus speculae. Also, this one's on birch. You also get it on hazel. It's very distinctive, those feeding signs. But these things, the more effort you put in, the more you'll get out. And it's a fantastic hobby. And there's discoveries to be made, things to find out. But this chap, this is Rupila maculata, one of the longhorns. A very common beetle. Distinctive markings. The markings do vary. But like a lot of beetles, very easy to find on umbellifers.